by saying thank you to everyone. Thank you for your commitment to America. Thank you for your commitment to the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. Thank you for your passion for liberty. Thank you for your passion for your kids and for your grandkids. You know, if you look throughout American history, it has always been a handful of men and women who step forward and lead the fight. With the American Revolution, it was a handful of patriots who put their names and signed the Declaration of Independence. They signed and pledged their lives, fortunes, and sacred honor. Mm-hmm. Many of them lost their lives. Many of them lost their fortune. Not a one of them lost their honor. And that bravery led to the revolution and led to the United States of America being formed. You know, just a couple of weeks ago, we had a hearing in the Senate Foreign Relations Committee where we were confirming one of the nominees that President Trump had nominated to the State Department. And he had said in his testimony that our rights don't come from government, they come from God.
That's right.
And one of my colleagues, Tim Kaine, Democrat from Virginia, he responded by saying that proposition is a radical and extreme proposition. It is a dangerous proposition.
What?
He said that idea that our rights come from God and not government is what Iran is based on. In America, we reject that idea. And I have to admit, I walked in as Tim Kaine was saying that, and I had planned to have an entirely different line of questioning, but I nearly fell out of my chair when I heard that. And I spoke shortly thereafter, and I said, you know, what Tim Kaine described as a radical and dangerous idea is quite literally the founding principle upon which the United States of America was founded. Mm-hmm. And I said, you know, Tim Kaine represents Virginia. Let me quote from another very famous Virginian, Thomas Jefferson, who wrote in the Declaration of Independence, we hold these truths to be self-evident. Self-evident meaning anyone and everyone who thinks about it and uses reasoning can figure it out. Mm-hmm. That all men are created equal, mm-hmm. and that they are endowed by their creator. Not by government, not by the DNC, but by God Almighty. Mm-hmm. By their creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Mm-hmm. That is the founding principle of this country, and it says something that the Democrats view the idea that our rights come from God as radical and dangerous. That's how far off track we've gotten. And by the way, the Declaration says those rights are unalienable. What that means is government can't take it away. If government is the source of your rights, if government is the source of your free speech, government can take away your free speech. If government is the source of your religious liberty, government can take away your religious liberty. If government is the source of your right to keep and bear arms, government can take away your right to keep and bear arms. And so that is why we are not based on that. Government cannot take those rights away because they come from God, and governments are instituted to protect those rights, not to take them away. That's what this fight is about. I know the patriots on this call believe this. And so I just want to ask you finally, if you can contribute, if you can support our fight, it really does make an enormous difference. We know how incredibly biased the media is. They are dishonest. They are liars. So if you're a conservative, you can count on CNN lying. You can count on ABC lying. You can count on MSNBC lying. That means the only way to communicate, the only way to win these fights, to support President Trump, to win the Senate, to win the House, is to spend money on paid advertising, on television, on radio, on email, on social media. All of that takes money. And so I want to ask you finally once more, can you press *0 right now and give something? Give $10, $25, $50, maybe $100, maybe $250, $500, $1,000, maybe even $2,500 or $5,000. Can you join our Liberty Circle and give a recurring monthly contribution? It makes a difference. And just like those patriots who signed the Declaration of Independence, just like those patriots at the Alamo in Texas who stood and virtually all gave their lives fighting for Texas's independence, I believe on this call, the men and women who are participating, you are patriots the same, and when liberty is threatened, you will answer the call. You have done so before, over and over again. And so I close the way I started by saying thank you. your commitment is inspiring, and your commitment is why we're going to win, and we're going to fight and win to preserve and save the greatest country in the history of the world.